Hello guys, welcome back to another video again about Monster Hunter Wilds. And this time it's gonna be just a little different. Um, Actually, outside of reaction videos, analysis, I've never watched myself the website. So I took a small little overview, and as you can see, you can scroll down. It gives you a little introduction. As you might know, or maybe not, maybe you're new to the series, Monster Hunter is a series where you're, as this is saying, I'm gonna read it for you, a wild and unrelenting new frontier, dynamic, ever-changing environments, a story of monsters and humans in a world with two faces, one in which the lands are harsh and unforgiving, where monsters fight for scarce resources, and another in which the lands are vibrant and brimming with life. You play as a professional hunter, protecting the balance of the ecosystem and hunting monsters. Use the resources you gain from hunts to craft even more powerful weapon and armor, and your quest to unravel the mysteries of the new lands, experiencing the most evolved action and improved immersion in any Monster Hunter to date. So, as a series, Monster Hunter has always been you're the Monster Hunter. Whether you be a professional or a beginner hunter, you hunt for a village. That's your job. You protect the ecosystem. So whenever there's an imbalance, you come in and clutch. Or there could be other villages, or just people in general that request to the guild of hunters to specifically hunt monsters that are wreaking havoc. So it has always been like this. It has always had like very little story involvement. The titles that brought the story campaign kind of thing into Monster Hunter were at first Monster Hunter 4, then Monster Hunter World, and finally now Wilds. Obviously, Rise and Sunbreak as well. But before that, the game was basically just you hunt monsters, you craft gear with the monster parts that you get at the end of the quest, and with that, you basically just hunt stronger, harder to fight monsters. Now, that has always been Monster Hunter. This title, however, brings something new to the series, obviously. For example, here it says the ever changing environments, because in this title, the climate will change very fast during the hunt, and we don't know yet why. Um, there are other things that we're gonna look at very, very soon, and obviously, another thing is that you're exploring as part of the commission. You're exploring a very new land, a mysterious land. So let's just go to the top, click on Living World, and see where with an ever-changing climate. As we already saw, life here has learned to adapt to the harsh environments, the wildlife developing its own ecosystem, and the humans developing their culture with it. You scroll down, and it shows. I don't know if you can stop it, but basically, here we have. I'm gonna keep on clicking on it. Here we have what's the more vibrant aspect of the locale, where food is not scarce. The wildlife is a little bit more chilled out, and you can see that it's better looking, right? But then you go to this part. This is where the monsters start to become more hungry because like food is a little scarce. If you look at it, like you can see the, the changes. Like I believe maybe not here, maybe it was in a clip. You could see literally a honey a honey spot where you can gather honey that literally disappeared when you get into this state here. And then we have the third one, The third one is going to be basically the more harsh one, because in this specific locale, they showed us that you can get the sandstorm and the thunderstorm, which will condition your hunts pretty much a lot, and the monsters will become even more hungry and aggressive because maybe they're scared and whatnot. So what it says here, each hunting locale features an environment with two dynamically changing identities, one in which the region is harsh and unforgiving, where ravenous monsters fight for limited resources, and another in which the region is vibrant and brimming with life. Here it says two, but there's a third one technically in which the the climate there will be even more like harder climate change. Here basically says this and this are the basic two um, environment states, but this one here is basically when you get to this state here, a sandstorm or a thunderstorm could occur. So, changes in the environment also means changes for the monsters, the wildlife that live there, so you'll be running into new surprises around every corner. So now, also here another new thing about this title is monster herds. Now, typically only small monsters would hunt in packs in like these ones that you just saw in Monster Hunter, or these ones. But in this new title, even big monsters can hunt in packs, as you can see here from the Dushaguma. And this is a new feature. They usually have a leader. They follow the leader anywhere he goes, and probably protects him and maybe like literally attack in synced with the leader. Here says in the Forbidden Lands you'll encounter not only herds of small monsters, some of the large monsters of the region may also form packs. Each has its own place in the ecosystem with its own unique movements and behavior. Then they showed the new mount. We already seen this. Is in case you don't know, if you're new to the series, this is a feature that was invented in Monster Hunter. Well, first in Monster Hunter World Iceborne, the expansion, they created this option for you to ride certain small monsters in the locale, and they would bring you where you basically, if you collected enough tracks about the monsters you needed to hunt, those small monsters you would mount them and they would bring you there. Then they invented the Palamute in Monster Hunter Rise, which is literally a mount. You mount him and you can maneuver him as you were walking on your feet. And that was a little different. It was not automatic. But sacred is a mix of both. So this little bird dinosaur will bring you. Well, it's completely manual. You can maneuver him as much as you like, but you can also tell him, okay, follow this monster here, or bring me to this specific gathering spot. So he's gonna be super useful, even more than before. And you can do all sorts of things on top of him. You can heal, you can sharpen, and whatnot. So here they show that he can glide as well. So if you have the high ground, you can choose to glide with this little companion that you have. Then they show the ecosystem. This is the first and only locale they have shown yet. The Wind World Plains. I'll never remember this. Uh, I think I'll remember it when I play the game, but right now, a lot of the like this specific year, sorry, this year reminds me too much of the Wildspire Waste. So for now, I'll get confused with it. But basically, they're showing the three differences of the locale. You have the savannah-looking part. You have the dunes, the desert-like part, and this is the rocky formations, more cave looking, and it's very beautiful. They said it's around double the size of a of a world map. Not ancient forest, because we know that's just too big, but probably like double the size of Wildspire Waste, which is it's incredible. Okay, as a member of the research commission charged with investigating the Forbidden Lands, which is the whole part of the world that we're exploring now, the Windward Plains, which is the locale, is the first new hunting locale you visit. The plains are a diverse region filled with sandy deserts, swaying grasslands, twisting rock formations, and other natural wonders. Yeah, maybe they didn't show the entirety of the thing, but we'll see at Gamescom. At Gamescom, they're 100% hunting in this locale here, so we'll see. And then we see the monsters that they have revealed so far, which is the first one, the Shaguma, which is well, as you can tell in Monster Hunter, you're not. I forgot to mention, you're not literally hunting monsters. They're not like demons or disgusting creatures. Or sometimes it could be, but most of the time it's just creatures. Okay, that resembles real life creatures. Okay, for example, this one has the face of a mole. If you look at it from a diverse angle, let me show you. So if we go to top, I think we go down. No, it's not on top. It's living world, but I forgot exactly where. Uh, okay, not here. Not here. Where was it? I seen it before. Let me just here. You see, if you look at its face, it looks like a mole, right? It's a little rat looking, but the size and the muscular proportions are like the ones of a bear. So you could say this guy there is a mix of those, right? And that's mostly the Monster Hunter experience. It's like creatures mixed up. This one is like um, a toad that I mean, it's not exactly a mix between two creatures, unless I'm missing something. To me, it just looks like a toad with giant arms that can be used in combat. This one is literally a worm. It resembles a leech a little bit. If you imagine it to be super small, you would think it's like a leech. It has like I believe it doesn't really have traditional eyes, but it has like these that act as sensors, and he can also pick up your scent by basically spitting at you like some saliva mixed with some kind of mud slash oil, and but you're gonna see it much more clearly as you see the other monsters now. Um, where we were here, and we would take a look at every single monster individually. So this one is the Shaguma, Rag Territorial Fanged Beast. Yes, because monsters have different species names. Like this is a fanged beast that exhibit an aggressive disposition and inhabit a large range, sometimes observed in large packs. So yeah, this guy hunts his pack. So, and this is the main habitat. Probably we're gonna be seeing him maybe in another locale. So click on here. We see this is the second monster they revealed. This is the Chatacabra, and as you can see, it's just a giant frog. It's weird looking, right? And this is an amphibian, and this is another species. You're gonna see like I'm gonna show you another amphibian. Okay, so just to get an idea of how these monsters work. Like this is a fat kappa looking monster, right? And another amphibian, It would be uh, I wrote AP accidentally, but whatever. Zamtrios. So this is another amphibian. It gets all fat after a while. As you fight him, it becomes like this. It's very goofy. But yeah, anyway. And this guy fights mostly with its tongue, uses its saliva to attach rocks and whatnot to its arms, and he uses them to fight you. These are pretty early monsters that don't have amazing abilities in combat, but at first they can be challenging for new players. Now we have the Balahara. The Balahara is a Leviathan. Leviathans are typically like monsters that can swim through sand, water, lava, and whatnot. This guy is swimming through the sand. Desert dwelling Leviathan, they use their supple, serpenty bodies to create quicksand traps for unwary prey. Yeah, they create pitfalls, and the monster gets stuck in it, and the hunters as well. Very cool. Can't wait to see more of these monsters. So, but as for now, we just saw these three monsters, and they teased another monster. They in an interview they said that monster is the apex of the San I forgot Windward Plains, sorry. And they said he becomes the apex of this area when the map is stormy. Okay, when the map is stormy, he is like the Chad. Okay, so let's take a look at the other things. Hunting, yes. Hunting action is bigger than ever. New moves, a huge variety of weapons and equipment, and more ways to use monsters and environment to your advantage. We can see the 14 weapons. They haven't updated this yet, but in reality, we already have lance here, and tomorrow it's going to be dual blades. However, since they said they would release a video um, every day until the Gamescom, and Gamescom is 21, I believe there might be other videos. I'm not exactly sure if there's gonna be a new weapon. They clearly haven't shown the the silhouette here, but we can still hope. I would love to see a maybe. Okay, listen. People want frontier weapons, the tonfas and the whatever. I personally don't. I really want gauntlets, like literally giant fists as a weapon. Would work kind of in a similar way of the tonfas of Frontier, but the tonfas would. Imagine you're like an Attack on Titan. Like the tonfas in Frontier could literally make you fly with gas or some shit. And I like that playstyle more on dual blades. In fact, I would love tomorrow, I would love to see a implementation of mid-air combat still present for dual blades. In Rise, you can actually do that. I hope this becomes a staple for dual blades for this game and onward. Now, having said that, I would love gauntlets, and I would love them to be a grounded weapon that deals blunt damage, just like hammer, but it's a little bit more agile. It does obviously less damage and less KO damage, but I would love it to be a thing. I want to fist the monster, man. That would be really sick. But here you can see a overview of all of the stuff that they shown us, and obviously we're gonna look at it. And they briefly said explain focus mode here, but I already talked about this in the other video, the wounds, how they work, the hook slinger and whatnot. Now let's see what other stuff. The characters, they show a little bit of the characters here. This is the main hunter and the female main hunter, the protagonist of the characters you play, a hunter. They're probably allowing you to change your face. Just just note this, okay? Palico is basically a race of creatures in Monster Hunter that they look like cats, but they're more humanoid, and they're able to communicate in the game with the hunter. This is going to be the first time they're voiced. Previously, they would just meow, 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 and the hunter would actually understand what the fuck they're saying. Now they're voiced, but you can still change to the meows if you want to. And they bring support. They can deal some damage. They bring you utility items like traps or all sorts of stuff. They can heal you, gather items for you. They can do a lot of things. They're pretty useful. Then we have Alma, the handler. This is gonna follow you on your journey. It's gonna give you knowledge on the things that she knows, and probably you're gonna have to save her a lot if that's how it's gonna work out. If it's similar to Monster Hunter World, you're gonna have to save her. Then this Betty here is Gemma, is Mifi with the Research Commission. She'll take care of your weapon. Yeah, you go to her. You say, "I want this weapon." She's gonna make it for you. Obviously, you have to bring the materials. But yeah, she looks really cool. And unfortunately, okay, we have a full picture. Here you can see of a lot of things that they basically give away that this design here is inspired by old Monster Hunters. Like this is a young Kutku plushie, and I believe she also has this one. I believe is from the Caravan, I believe. And I could be wrong, but I think she also had another thing. The hair resembles a lot the I don't remember the name of that Monster Hunter 4 character. But yeah, she's a mix of things that basically it's like Easter eggs, you know? Now we have Nata, mysterious young boy that accompanies you on your journey. You're probably gonna have to save him a lot, I bet, because he doesn't look like he can defend himself from this picture. And what's okay, the monsters, but we already took a view on the monsters, right? So this is what I wanted to look at. The site is very beautiful. As we get closer and closer to the release, I would love to see the site having like actual maps, or at least maybe the one that we play that they get to play at Gamescom. Since we already seen it, they could actually show the map and we can explore it. At the very least, a mini map. You know what I mean? That would be sick, really sick. And please don't reveal other maps, other locales, please. I want them to. I want to be able to discover them in the game. I know there's gonna be other locales, so it, we don't need to see that. Anyway, previously we covered the Great Sword. All right, the Great Sword. So today I wanted to cover the Longsword. Why? Because when I started back in Monster Hunter Freedom 2 and Freedom Unite, the weapon classifications were separated in couples. Okay, you had great sword, long sword. You had sword and shield and dual blades. You had I don't know, hammer, hunting horn, and so on. So I kind of want to do that. I already started with great sword, so I'm gonna go straight up to the long sword. Just do one watch that we analyze. So sick. Counter. You see the bar is increasing. And now we get the red. So sick. So, well, this, first of all, this looks like a classic bone weapon. However, it could not be a classic boom weapon. Why? This here, the symbol here, I've seen it on other weapons. This longsword could actually be a Doshaguma longsword, okay? Because we also see differences on this design here. You know, the rudimental, like, heavy metal pieces. It looks very, very clunky. I don't know how to explain it. But this symbol here, I've seen it on other weapons as well. And this armor is definitely the Shaguma armor, you see? And it also has these metal pieces, okay? You see? But this, look at the fur. This is definitely the Shaguma, okay? So this could be an entire Doshaguma set. So here what we see is basic longsword stuff that looks a little different, and I'm gonna explain why it looks different. In this title, Monster Hunter Wilds, we have seen lighter weapons, let's say, that basically are allowed to reposition a little bit themselves. Even some heavier weapons, we've seen that. I think it's just a Monster Hunter Wilds thing. Before, you couldn't really move yourself during the combos, like sideways or whatnot, unless your weapon had an attack that moved you towards that direction. Now, here what we see is a specific action of the longsword, which is the spirit slashes, I believe they're called. You just press the trigger and you perform these attacks if you have your gauge available. And these attacks are going to be key to the moves, to the move set, and we're going to see that in a moment. But before, you would just do right slash, you press it again, you do left slash, then you do uh, double little forward slash into a front. I don't know, like I'm gonna show you. Now, what you're gonna see is that he's gonna move each time he does the first spirit slash, and then he does a second one and he moves towards the other direction. And this time it's gonna look a little different. Look, this is the first one. He does a right spiritual slash, but he moves towards the left. Now he does the other slash, okay? This time it's double. Before it was just one. Now it's two hits. He moves towards the right. Then he does the boom boom, the double hits that I told you, into a big frontal forward slash. And then he does this roundhouse kind of move that we're going to see later. It charges your gauge levels. Don't worry, it's going to be all clear later on. This is a counter called Foresight Slash. You basically backstep a little when you do this, and if the monster hits you, you're not gonna receive any damage, and this specific hit that he's gonna do is gonna charge your gauge to max, which allows you to perform the round slash that we saw just before. There you go. This one charges your gauge levels, as I told you before. So this attack, this foresight slash, is really important in the moveset. And now we see the gauge. The gauge, as you can see, this yellow part here, the inner part of the gauge, this is used to do the spirit slashes that we saw just at the start of the video. Now, look. He does this move, he puts the sword in EI stance, and from this stance he can perform a move that will charge your gauge every second, like it will charge over time, right? Normally, to charge this, you need to do normal attacks and each normal attack you connect to the monster is gonna charge it a little bit. This is gonna do it automatically. Then he does the spirit slashes, as you can see, and he consumes it. Now, let's look at the spirit slashes here, and let's see if it's a little different from before, right? Yeah. After he did that, he went directly into spirit combo, whatever, spirit slash. Level 2, the double slash that we saw before. Okay, so now, as you could see here, after he did the round slash, pardon me, after he does this, the round slash, you're gonna see that the outer part of the gauge is gonna glow white. See? This is called level 1 gauge, okay? So, it's just a multiplier for your damage, or at least this, it was like this in the older games. I believe it's like this even now. Now we see it at level 2. This is yellow outside. It means he charged it again, but it didn't show on the video. Once the spirit gauge turns red, some of your attacks will be strengthened. Now let's see. Each time you hear pew, pew, that means he's doing a spirit slash, and it should be consuming the gauge. Look. You see that he consumes it? Now let's take a look at it because there's a lot to actually see. This is a frontal, you inputted forward spirit slash 1. It looks very different. Look. Okay, that was sick. And this is again forward spirit slash 2. It looks very different from the spirit slash 2 that we saw before. And now spirit slash 3, I would assume it always looks the same. Round slash, now you're charged to red. Now you see what I meant before? So now here it says that some of your attacks will be strengthened, but I believe when you're red, literally your moveset will change, and we're gonna see now. First of all, you get a follow-up after the round slash when you get to red. So this follow-up here, you cannot do it normally. Look at this, pam pam. This is probably just triangle. Why? I say that because it's not a spirit slash. You cannot hear the ka-ching that I was talking about before. You see how many attacks he did? You never heard ka-ching, ka-ching. Those were not spirit slashes. That's literally your moveset revamped when you get to red gauge. So you're gonna be a lot stronger, especially if you have a elemental weapon. This is gonna matter a lot. Let's rewatch it. So this is focus strike. You aim with a reticle. You aim at a wound or a weak spot, and he's gonna do this attack. Sick. The delay hits is this. It shows this just for a few seconds, not even a full second, I believe. But this is a EI stance where you put the weapon into your I forgot the name of it. You put away your weapon in a specific stance, the EI stance. You can also perform this counter that, if done right, at the very least, this is how it worked in World. Okay, if it worked right, you would maintain your gauge level or gauge color, if you want to call it. But if you do it wrong, you decrease one level. Okay, it does a very good chunk of damage. It's sick looking, obviously, and it could be follow up into some other attacks if you land it correctly. You see, it does this EI slash here. You can see here that a delayed hit will appear here. That does a lot of damage. Okay, I'm gonna show it again. And then we watch the next clip, which is gonna be the Helm Breaker. So this attack that he did after landing off of, he jumps in the air and does this attack. This causes a lot of delayed hits on the monsters, and you would decrease one level of your gauge doing so because that's one of your finishing moves. Okay, you want to deal a lot of damage, you do it, and you decrease your level to, I don't know, red from red to yellow. But now he has also follow-up. This follow-up here, this multi-slash, super cool thing, probably is achievable only if you have red gauge. So you do that, you do the multi-slash, and you go back to yellow. And what we see here, I think it's another counter. It could be wrong, but the way he is posing, it's very snappy. Look at it. You see? Ping. It looks like some kind of counter. I could be wrong. Maybe it's just a super move, and he's charging the super move. Very cool. So that's it for Longsword. I think it looks very sick, and I like the changes to red gauge. I like the fact that you got new moves out of it. Very very cool looking. So next time in the next video, we're probably gonna cover SNS and dual blades because dual blades is tomorrow, so it will fit perfectly. So I will cover SNS, dual blades, and then we proceed with the rest of the weapons. Probably last I'm gonna do the ranged weapons. And thank you guys again for watching. I hope you liked the video. See you next time. Bye bye.